Hey Canucks fans, if the Canucks get past the Wild in the qualifying round, who would you like to see them match up with in the round of 16? I'm Clay Emo, I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter, I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram, I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, June the 6th. This is where you get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. I hope you're doing well. I hope you have good plans for the weekend, whether that's hanging out with family or going out but staying safe and staying healthy. Whatever you may be doing, I hope you indeed have a nice weekend lined up for ahead of you. And a quick programming note, because today's Saturday, that means tomorrow's Sunday. Tomorrow I'll be doing my weekly Ask Me Anything. So I started asking for questions both on Twitter and on YouTube last week, and it went really well. So if you have any question that you want to ask me, Canucks related, personal, whatever you want, put it down in the comments in here in this vlog, and then I'll find them tomorrow when I do my video. Just make sure you mark them off as AMA or Ask Me Anything. But if you just type AMA : and then ask the question, I'll know that you're not necessarily talking about today's video, but you're setting up for tomorrow's Ask Me Anything. So I'd love to get some questions from you here. Thanks in advance. Okay, today I want to talk about the round of 16. And I want to presume, for the sake of this vlog, that the Vancouver Canucks beat the Minnesota Wild in the qualifying round. Well, I guess we should presume that the NHL is going to come back to play, and then we presume that the Canucks beat the Minnesota Wild. And I don't think there's any Minnesota Wild fans that watch this vlog, but if they do, I'm not dismissing your team. I'm not disrespecting your team. I'm just making a point for discussion's sake here, okay? So any Minnesota Wild fans out there, which I'm not sure if they are, watching this vlog, relax. I'm not saying the Canucks are going to beat your team for sure. But of course, we hope that they will. And we hope that the Canucks will advance to the true playoff round. Sure, they give up their draft pick this year, but at least there's some certainty. Okay, so let's say the Canucks beat the Minnesota Wild in 3, 4, 5 games, whatever you want to say. And then we know from the season this week that the NHL will reseed all the teams. So that means number 1, St. Louis, number 2, Colorado, number 3, Vegas, number 4, Dallas. They're all going to play each other. They're going to come up with their own little ranking 1 through 4. And then the 4 teams that win the qualifying round in the Western Conference will then be seeded 5, 6, 7, 8. If all the favorites win, then Vancouver will be seeded number 7, right? They're the 7, Minnesota's the 10, and then we would play against the number 2. However, all it takes is for one or both of the favorites above us, the 5th or 6th seed. So imagine Edmonton loses to Chicago and or Nashville loses to Arizona. Then Vancouver could bump up to the 6th seed or even the 5th seed if both Edmonton and Nashville lose. So you can see that we can't predict, not only can we not predict where the Canucks are going to finish, what seed they're going to predict, we certainly don't know how the top 4 teams are going to finish off. So we can't just say it's going to be number 2 seed Colorado, because A, might not be the number 2 seed, and B, it might not be Colorado in that spot, right? So I think we need to talk about all 4 teams now. Although 2 weeks ago I was talking about a Colorado matchup because I thought it was going to be bracketed. So here we go. Let's talk about the 4 teams. My question to you right away is, which of the 4 teams do you think the Canucks have the best chance against? I'll give you my order right now. In order of who I'd like the Canucks to face, I'm going Dallas, St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas. Again, Dallas, St. Louis, Colorado, Vegas. Now, I'll go through each, and they might seem counterintuitive. You might say, well, what the heck? St. Louis was the number 1 team in the West. St. Louis is defending Stanley Cup champions. Or you might say, why Dallas? Because we lost twice to them in the regular season. So I'll get to all that right now. So why number 1 team, Dallas? Now, I know that we lost to them twice in the regular season, and one of them wasn't that close. It was, I think, a 6-1 drubbing. You might remember we played them twice in a week, actually. We lost 4-1 and 6-1. And we had one more game to play, right? We play against all Central teams 3 times during the year. So, again, we were 0-2 against Dallas. But I look at their team, and I just think of those 4 teams, they are the weakest up and down their lineup. They're streaky for sure. They got a lot of firepower, right, with Sagan, with Ben, and they got, they have decent goaltending, and they have Heiskanen on the back end. So they have definitely some good players, but I don't know if they have the consistency. They've been striving for that consistency for years, but I don't know if they have that consistency to put together a long playoff run. And even though we lost to them twice, we have of the 4 teams, we did the worst against them of the 4 that I'm going to talk about. I don't know. I just have this feeling that Vancouver can still take out Dallas. And maybe I'm thinking about neutralizing, going firepower versus firepower, right? Miller, Besser, Toffoli, and Pettersson, of course, against their Ben and Sagan. But yeah, I just like, I don't know. I just have a sense that Vancouver could match up well against Dallas, even though this season doesn't really paint us any evidence to suggest that to be the case. I don't know. I'm still putting number one, Dallas number one. Maybe because they haven't proven much during the playoffs in past years, where I think maybe this year is going to be no different. And when I just think of them compared to the other three teams, they just seem not as strong as the other three teams. They finished fourth out of those four teams in standings, even though we did not win a single game against them. So I'm putting Dallas at my number one. My number two, I am putting St. Louis. And we split the season series with them. No, actually, we beat them 2-1 in the season series. So I just said don't put too much stock in losing twice to Dallas. I guess I should say don't put too much stock in beating St. Louis 2 out of 3. But you guys remember those games. We one of the crazy one was when they had a 3-0 in overtime when Tyler Myers took out Horvat and Miller behind the St. Louis net, and that was the crazy 3-0 that sent Markstrom into fits, and rightfully so. But then we beat them the 2 other times we played. One of them was in a shootout, and the other time was in regulation, 3-1 most recently. And yes, they are the defending Stanley Cup champions. They are deep throughout their lineup. You always have this Pettersson versus Binnington last year Calder Trophy remnants of that, not even a feud, but that rivalry. But I like the way Vancouver matches up against St. Louis, and I think Vancouver would be motivated to play against the defending Stanley Cup champions. And I just have a sense that Vancouver would do decently against St. Louis. So that's why they're my number 2 preferred opponent out of the top 4, the St. Louis Blues. Again, a good matchup, Stanley Cup champions. Not saying we'd win for sure. I'm not sure why I have them so low, but I do, because I'm more scared of the other 2 teams. My third team is Colorado. That team we also split the season series with, 1-1. We had to play one more game. I don't know why I said we also split the season, because Dallas we went 0-2, St. Louis went 2-1. So spoiler alert, Colorado and Vegas we split the season series with. So Colorado we went 1-1. We had one more game to go against them. Always very entertaining games. You think of last season, the 7-6 victory where Besser and Pettersson went crazy. Always entertaining, and I would love to see a matchup of Pettersson versus McKinnon, Hughes versus Makar, Besser, Toffoli, and Horvat against Landeskog and Rantanen, and so on and so forth. I love this matchup. I think we have the edge in goal, but aside from that, Colorado's a pretty darn good team. They're fast, they can score in bunches, and they're streaky, but in a better way than Dallas, and that's why they were second overall in the Western Conference. And yeah, I think the storylines write themselves, but I'm not sure if we could beat Colorado 4 times out of 7. I would like to think so, but there's a reason why. I think they're where kind of the Canucks want to be in 1 or 2 years, if you get what I'm saying. The development of their younger players, and yeah, obviously Landeskog, Rantanen, and McKinnon are a little bit older than the Besser, Pettersson, and Horvats of the world, and then Hughes and Makar, they're basically a wash, right? Makar came in the season, is 1 year older, started play in the playoffs last year, and that whole Calder Trophy debate that we've been talking about. So I like that matchup, but I'm not sure if I like it much for the Canucks, because I think it'll be tough to beat Colorado in a 7-game series, but it sure would be fun to watch. And then my fourth team, the team I don't want to face the most, is the Vegas Golden Knights. Yeah, we split the season series with them 1-1, but we had 2 more games against them, right? 1 at home, 1 away. And despite us beating them in overtime, although that's the game that Josh Levo went out with a broken kneecap, bunch of jerks, I just think that Vegas, ever since they've come into the league, and we saw it when they reached the Stanley Cup Finals in their first year of play, and then that crazy playoff series last year, this team is good. They can score. They are big and tough. You got guys like Reeves and Carrier that scare the heck out of me. They got a mobile yet big, blue line course, and they got good goaltending, right? They got goaltending, and I just think they'd be a very tough team to beat in a 7-game series. And I think I haven't gone through. I didn't go for the record for the previous 2 seasons, but I'm pretty sure like out of 10 games, we probably won like 1 or 2 of them. And even though we went 50% this year with 2 games to go, or there would have been 2 games to go, I know that our winning percentage wasn't good. And I know that games in Vancouver, I've gone to a couple of Vancouver games. Aside from the last one I went to, Vegas skated us out of the rink. They're that fast, they're that skilled, they're that deep, they're that big, they're that tough, and they have decent goaltending, like I said. So that's why they are the scariest of all 4 teams. So my order, in the order that I want to see the Canucks face, again, presuming they get through Minnesota, is Dallas, St. Louis, Colorado, and Vegas. What is your order? That is the question of the day. What is the order of those 4 teams? We know they're going to be reseeded. What's your preferred order of who the Canucks face in the round of 16 if the Canucks get through the Minnesota Wild. Leave a comment below. I love to read, react, and reply as always. And don't forget, put a question also in the comments below. Just mark it AMA, ask me anything, and I will get to it in my vlog tomorrow. So, stay safe, stay healthy, subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to. Forgot to say that. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and have a really great day, have a great weekend. God bless, and go Canucks go.